Right.
And then there was the incident with the dove.
I was being introduced to the LA branch of CBS, and my wife said to me, go in and throw these two doves in the air. And I was drunk, I'd drunk a bottle of booze. And I threw one up in the air, and they were all sitting around the boardroom table, and I bit the head off the other one and threw it on the table, thinking I would see the funny side of it. No, really didn't see the funny side of it.
I'm not so sure that anybody sat down and said, oh, let's bite the heads off of some birds and maybe we'll get some publicity. It's just that he does things that are like kind of spontaneous and wacky. For a long time there, Sharon was walking around with a mop and a broom, as we say, cleaning up the mess. But then, smart as she is, she kind of flipped it around and made it work for them.
Then, in 1982, Ozzy infamously urinated on the historic American landmark, the Alamo. He was arrested and banned from the Texan town for a decade.
I think Ozzy has this certain kind of energy that kind of attracts chaos. It's fun to watch, really, you know. As long as no one gets hurt, you know.
I don't believe the fact that when I died they put on my stone Ozzy Osbourne, the man that bit the head off a bat and a dog and urinated up the Alamo.
The Diary of a Madman tour was exactly that, mad. Ozzy's wild antics on and off the stage became the benchmark for rock and roll hedonism and excess.
I mean, Ozzy would always be worse than us, so he was always a reference point of how far you could take yourself. He was definitely a role model if that's the kind of life, the debauchery you wanted to get into. There was nobody better to judge it on.
But there was one stunt pulled on the road that turned tragic, and Ozzy had nothing to do with it. On March 19, 1982, a few of the touring crew, including guitarist Randy Rhoads, took a joyride in a stolen small plane. The airplane crashed, killing all three on board.
They told me, Randy just crashed into the house, and I go, it's over. And Sharon goes, no, it is not.
After Randy's sudden death, Ozzy fell into another deep depression and faced his own fate.
I often question myself and think, well, Ozzy, if you were awake when the plane ride was going on, I know that I would have been on that plane. I know I would probably have been flying the damn thing. But, you know, I believe in fate. I believe that things are here. Things happen for a reason.
Ozzy wasn't just facing his own fate, but also facing all kinds of demons. His own.
I don't want to die, you know. It's just that I don't want to die.
And others who sought to persecute him.
The admitted lyrics, as you know, on the jacket, suicide is the only way out.
When the story of Ozzy Osbourne continues. By the early 80s, Ozzy Osbourne was starting over. Musically, after the heartbreaking death of his best friend and songwriting partner, Randy Rhoads. And personally, in the first of many attempts at getting sober.
This cocaine number, you know, it's a joke. It's bullshit. It's junk. I went and got myself cleaned up. I was going on a one-way street. I decided that to be a rock and roll star, you don't have to be crazy and take drugs and alcohol all the time. It's just, I was burning out fast and I don't want to die, you know.
Você quer, você não quer um beijo? Vai procurando, amigo. O trabalho é esse. Caos, terça, às 11 da noite. Agite bem antes de usar no History.
O History chama.
I don't want to die.
In 1988, Osbourne pronounced that sobriety sucks in the film Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years, by Penelope Spheeris.
It's like drugs. They were okay at the time, but we outgrew them, you know. We just, you know, we took LSD, we took cocaine, we took vast amounts of marijuana. It was fun at the time, but then we all just sort of, it's not a very good idea anymore.
So you have a more stable life now?
No.
Challenge, which would get me to go to the first day in a rehab. Because Ozzy apparently plays a teaches you to drink like a gentleman. Oh, I don't do it. Maybe I'm drinking it all wrong, you know. I go to Betty Ford's and Mrs. Ford goes, excuse me, ma'am, where's the bar? She goes, what? Oh, I was expecting you to hold your hand on your hip, get your cocktail in your hand. Every 2 minutes you split your lips and stick it back.
Like a gentleman.
Like a gentleman. But I said, oh, I'm standing there. It didn't quite work out, you know. I was a sick puppy for a long time, you know. About 5 or 6 years.
Feeling better now?
I feel great. It gets kind of boring, though.
Ozzy Osbourne continued to have great success through the 80s with a couple more big records, Bark at the Moon and The Ultimate Sin. He and Sharon had started their own family.
Hi, my name's Jack Osbourne. My name is Thelema Osbourne. I'm Amy Osbourne and I'm the oldest of the children. My dad is Ozzy. He's a famous pop star. I love you, Daddy, very much. Bye, see you later.
He now had more reasons than ever to get clean. But Ozzy often relapsed, having to start treatments all over again.
I'm still battling with alcohol problem, you know. I mean, I find that touring and staying straight just don't work for me. My dream for the future is to be able to stay straight and clean and sober and tour as well.
I think people like Ozzy, and there's not a lot like him, but I think they use drugs and alcohol to kind of quell that energy because it is such a force inside.
Addiction wasn't Osbourne's only fight. He was heading into a public battle to defend himself and his art. In 1986, Osbourne and his record company, CBS, were sued by the parents of a 14-year-old fan who'd shot and killed himself while listening to Ozzy records and his song Suicide Solution. The allegations were that Ozzy's music encouraged self-destructive behavior in easily influenced young people.
The admitted lyrics, as you know, on the jacket were